again, it comes close when you press record.
Yeah, it zooms in a bit.
Hi guys, welcome to episode number 2 of Lift More, Lose More. Hope you enjoyed episode number 1 and you are more educated for it. Today we're going to cover the training side of things from a beginner's point of view mainly. Talk about full body workouts, how to structure your training and just what you should be doing in general when you walk into the gym. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to hand you over to this handsome young man here, and I'm going to shut up. Over to you.
Thank you for the lovely introduction.
My pleasure.
Truth be told, we've tried to do this one already this morning, and we made a right balls of it. So
It's like,
we're gonna condense what we said, because there's a whole wealth of things we can talk about with training. We can go into rests and tempos and full body workouts and different splits and contracting muscles and blood flow restrictions and antagonistic pairs. We can throw it all out there. But
let me have another drink.
yeah, we're gonna just keep it nice and simple and straightforward. I hope we can get the message across to a beginner who's walking into a gym, or someone who's been training for a little while and doesn't really have much structure to the workouts. And I explain the way we structure workouts for beginners, and the way we think a lot of people will benefit from structuring their own workouts. We're going to refer mostly to body composition training, so whether that be losing weight, gaining muscle, whichever one you want to go. We spoke about the nutrition behind these things before, but the training aspect of that is quite similar. We look into the very sexist comment of me, so I apologise, but the female toning is the same as the male bodybuilding. So what most guys will come in and go, I'm going to do some bodybuilding, is the same as a female coming in and going to tone up. It's building a muscle and losing fat. Generally that's what most people are looking to do when they come into a gym. So as Scott mentioned briefly in the intro, we're going to refer to what you should do in a gym and when you first get in, how you should structure your workouts, and then a little bit about a full body workout that you can do and how to structure that itself. So coming into a gym, we've all read magazines before, or we've seen on different social media platforms and things like that of the booty workouts, the arms, chest, shoulders, back workouts, build guns in 21 days and all that stuff. It's wasted really. It's not really beneficial to 90% of the people who come into a gym. It's there to sell magazines, it's there to get Instagram likes, it's there just to advertise something new has to come out. If you follow these tips we're going to say now, you'll be in a pretty good state to go on further later in your lifting career to expand on the basics. So for a beginner coming into the gym, I know Scott does the same, we want to look at getting that person as toned all over, building as much muscle as we can all over the body and burning as much fat. So we get the nutrition in order like we've spoken about, and then we want to activate as many muscle groups as possible. We do this quite simply by focusing on movements. We're not going to focus on 15 different chest workouts. We're not going to focus on 40 different arm curls, different wrist positions and things like that. Get rid of all that nonsense out of your head. Just think about simple movements. We have slightly different terminology for it, as we discovered this morning. I generally will go across push, pull, squat and hinge, whereas I think you refer to, you go squat as quad dominant and posterior chain as your hinge, which is, it's the same thing all in all. The way we'll structure those workouts is just pairing those things up. If you can structure with a push, pull, a squat and a hinge, or a quad and a posterior chain, whichever way you refer it, you're going to be in a pretty good position. Now this might sound massively oversimplified, but it's what we do day to day with most of our clients. I think I've not ordered Scott's online plans, but I've written my own. I can imagine the exercises aren't a million miles apart.
No.
It's there. It's a basis of building a basic structured workout for a beginner. So I'll hand it back to you a little bit. How do you structure your workouts for someone who's coming straight into a gym? What would be the first key points you focus on?
From a one-on-one client point of view, it's highly likely I may only see that person once, maybe twice a week. see me more, but more often than not it's once or twice a week. So I need to be confident that that person can come into the gym on their own and feel comfortable doing what I've asked them to do. Now, a lot of the time these people haven't been in a gym before, they feel quite intimidated. So for me to say to them, well, all clients need to be doing a back squat, or all clients need to be doing a clean and press. For me to show them that can be very technical, take a lot more than one session to do that movement, can be completely wasting my time. So more often than not, I strip it right back. I use things like a step up very often for a lower body. You know, we don't even have to split it into quad and hip hinge or anything. Just a lower body movement. I know that person can come in the next day or 2 days time, feel very confident of just stepping up and down on a step and be more than happy, and we'll get some results from it. It can be loaded very easily, and then we can move on over the weeks to doing some kind of squat or doing the more technical stuff when they are with me. But like Pete said, the structure's more or less exactly the same. There's between 4 and 6 exercises depending on how the session goes, and it will cover a push movement, a pull movement, something squat related, and something maybe either deadlift related or a hip extension movement. So it might be a glute bridge type movement or something like that, and then some abs and cardio at the end. I don't think we even need to talk about rep ranges and stuff at this point, do we? Because we're talking about technique, we're talking about getting the person comfortable with that movement, whether that's 6 reps or 12 reps, it doesn't really matter. You're just working them movement patterns, getting a bit stronger at them, and then further down the line, when you're maybe a bit more specific with your goals, then you can look at manipulating rep ranges and things like that.
Yeah, I think fundamentals are something that have to be built as soon as you come in. So they say about the step up, it's something that everyone can perform, but perform safely and well. There are key pointers for that, about keeping your heel down, getting your knee in the right position, and things like that, coming down slowly, which we will coach you. But there's no point us overemphasising a technique early on. There's just no point. If we're hammering, spending so much time on a back squat, but you can't do a goblet squat or a bodyweight squat, we jump in well ahead. We've got to put processes in. And like you said, these things have got to be repeatable. We're both sticklers for form. We'd like you to be able to perform whatever exercise we tell you to do correctly, on your own, comfortably, without us there and without us having to correct you over and over again. So the more simple we can keep these basic movements to start with, the more benefit you're going to get out of them. Because if you're overcomplicating it doing a back squat, you're only going a quarter of the way. You're putting loads of weight on it. You're not doing the movement. You're not actually getting the muscle contraction that we're looking for. And what we're looking to do is stimulate those muscles. We're not looking to shift a load of weight. We're not worried about the actual weight that you lift so far at the moment. It's a case of just working a muscle under stimulation and working through the full range of motion. And if we can get you doing that from day one, we're taking massive steps and leaps and bounds from the moment you come into the gym, when you've got your most potential for change the first day you walk into the gym. If we can get you performing exercises correctly instantly, and then coming in on your own and doing the same as well, or coming to us for extra sessions and things, squeezing those through, you've got the biggest chance potential for change. We speak about push, pull, squat, a step up. All these moves that we're looking at are called compound moves. We want to emphasise large muscle groups and multiple joint. A compound lift is a multiple joint lift. So if you're using a shoulder and an elbow at the same time in a push or a pull, it's much more beneficial for us than just doing a curl, which is just going to use one muscle. Same as a squat or a step up, we're using the hip and the knee and the ankle. So we're using lots of muscles and lots of stabilisation, therefore burning more calories and stimulating more muscles, which is our key goal when we get in, is to stimulate a large amount of muscle and get our nutrition in order to then let that muscle react how we want it to.
It sort of goes back to what Pete was saying at the start in regards to whether you want to build muscle or burn fat, people seem to forget that actually lifting weights burns calories. So you know, people might be in the gym thinking, I'll burn the fat and then I'll tone up, when in reality it can all be done at the same time. But compound movements, you're obviously using not only the larger muscle groups, but a wider range of muscle groups. So with that, even if your goal is building muscle or losing fat, these movements are obviously burning more calories as well. The only difference is probably the nutritional side of things. So these beginners workouts, these will work for really whatever your goal is. So if you're a skinny little 18-year-old bloke, the movements will be exactly the same. It will just be, we might get a bit more technical on the protein timings or the amount of protein, whereas on the fat loss side of things, we'll be concentrating on just getting a calorie deficit. We won't be getting too anal with a middle-aged female.
We certainly won't.
That came out wrong. But we won't be hammering, say, a middle-aged female on the amount of times they're taking protein in and things like that. We'll literally be looking at eating habits, at meal habits, and then just concentrating on things like that. So they work for a wide range of things, but they're also beneficial for everyone as well.
Yeah, we've got this. Not anything to say now. Myself and Scott have been training for years. Went and started a beginner's plan and went through it. We'd see benefits. Definitely, if we stuck to a push-pull movement. So if we had a shoulder press and a lat pull down, a squat and a deadlift, and we did that 3 times a week, we'd see definite differences in our body. We're just activating a lot of muscles, and then we'll bring in a bench press and a row. You've pretty much ticked all the boxes for everything we need. We're not competitive bodybuilders at the moment. Done it before. We're not strength athletes at the moment. We'd see differences in our physique. We'd stimulate some muscle growth, and as long as our nutrition was on point, we could see massive differences just from following that basic pattern. So that's what we're trying to get across today, really, is how simple it can be from coming through the doors of a gym to seeing really, really good results. Yeah, not overcomplicating things.
It's just choosing some exercises, getting very good at them exercises, and then adapting things when you feel you're ready. So either things have stagnated a little bit, or people get bored on a plan, and that's perfectly fine. We talk about sticking to plans and things like that. If boredom is an issue, then change it. But pick some basic movements, get very good at them, be consistent with it. So don't do it for 1 week and then miss the gym for the next. You will see progress, which is where things like resistance training has its benefits from other things as well, because you can progress the lifts. You can go from lifting 1 kilo to 2 kilo to 3 kilo, and throughout the weeks, then you'll be up to the 10s and 12s. Whereas other things, probably things like classes, there's no progression there, and that's where people struggle actually seeing the results.
Yeah, I actually had the question this morning. So I was saying, what's the difference between your weight loss and your muscle gain people training wise, and do you just send them on cardio and things like that? And it's not the case. It is a case of getting your nutrition right, and we see in the gym people coming in, smashing the cardio out for ages, or smashing a little bit of circuit training and getting a sweat on and doing a class and things, and that's great. You're more active than you used to be, maybe, so you're looking to burn more calories, but that's going to stagnate. You're just going to become good at doing those little exercises, and then it's how you progress it from there. With the resistance training, it's very easy for us to program, we don't even call it programming, to just make it heavier. Yeah. When you can lift it, just make it a little bit heavier until you can't. You can lift that one easy, and then make it a little bit heavier until you can lift that one easily. And we're not talking strength athletes and doing linear progressions and daily undulating periodization and things like that. We don't need any of this stuff yet. It's a case of when I can complete all the reps set to me for that day,
you up the weight.
I just up the weight, and then the week after I just up the weight again, and then up the weight, and that can get you so far just with these very basic, simple points. all I'd say about, want to move on to cardio a little bit?
Well,
The very basics.
yeah, well, I've not got much to say about cardio, to be honest. I use it to burn calories at the end of a workout. I'll use it in between workouts, again to burn calories, but as part of recovery. Pete goes a bit more in depth with it from a performance point of view. I don't really concentrate that much on it. It's there to burn calories, so it's either some intense interval training or any kind of interval training at the end of a workout, or like I said, it's a walk during lunch, or it's a walk on your day off. It'll aid in recovery, it will burn some calories. That's all I've got to say on cardio, to be honest.
That's pretty much it. Like I say, they're all good. Cardio's activity, it's burning calories. Don't overcomplicate it, don't overthink that either. I use it as a warm-up as well. I'll come in and just get the heart rate going a little bit, but that's very low intensity, just getting the blood pumping. So...
Well, hang on, I've actually got something to say.
Oh, here we go.
You can still progress on your cardio as well, and it's a bit, I was going to mention it in regards to keeping your exercise choice simple as well. It's getting small wins. So if you can get a small win every time you come into the gym, so if we go back to the step up, it might be that client in their first week of coming into the gym, they come in and do their workout that we've given them on their own, and they feel confident doing it. That is a small win. The next time they come in, they may do, I don't know, 1,000 metre row or whatever, a 5-minute row. They may beat their time by 1 second. That is a small win. It's also progression. So if we can keep chipping away at all these small wins while working on their nutrition as well, because when someone first comes to us, there's a lot to take in. We're talking about nutrition with them, we're introducing them to exercises they've never seen before. It's a lot to take in, it can be daunting. So if we keep chipping away at all these small wins, 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, 10 years down the line, and they keep progressing, then you're going to get somewhere, rather than just spinning your wheels constantly.
Perfect. Like I say, I do it for like, some could call you like the cardio guru. That's a good. But a joke. Like I say, I use cardio for performance and things like that. I have some people who compete at different cardio events. But it's the same for them. So we just do the progressions. Just make a point of noting down what you're doing.
Yeah.
I know you have individual client folders, I have a tablet, we film this on. We keep a track of what clients are doing and then progress them gently. And it's only when you look back a long way, you realise how far people have come sometimes. And it's nice for them to see on paper, because they might not realise what you're doing. So if you're training yourself, bring a little notebook, bring your phone, bring anything. If you've got a trainer, make sure they're keeping a track of what you're doing, and if your 500 metre row is getting 2 seconds faster, you're getting fitter, you're making progress. If you're lifting more weights, if you're using machines and you've just moved the pin down one, brilliant. If you've gone from machines to free weights, brilliant. It's all those little steps, and then you find yourself 6 months to a year down the line, very comfortable in the gym, performing the much more, not complex movements, but you've gone from a press up to a chest press machine to a bench press to an incline dumbbell press. Yeah. And you've managed to do all that safely, securely, and you're strong in doing it, and you've just progressed and progressed and progressed, and your body's adapted along that way.
Or as Pete mentioned before, it's as simple as going from a body weight squat to a goblet squat to a back squat. There's progression, and from that progression, your body will be adapting. But nothing will beat a bit of structure and a bit of small progression. You can follow a crap workout, and as long as you're progressing on them lifts, you'll see a benefit from it. So, like Pete said, just bring a bit of paper and log down what you're lifting, rather than doing 50 sets of chest because you've read it in a magazine one week, and then following an arm plan you've read in a magazine the other week. There is some benefit, but a little bit of progression and adapting week on week will top all of that.
That's pretty much it. Make it measurable, and improve on it, and you're gonna be heading in the right direction with everything that you do in the gym. Cardio, weights, your mobility work. If you've got some measurement, your warm ups, anything can be just be measured, and we get a little bit of things. So I know like a 10-minute warm up on a rower. You just jot down the meters that you've done at the end of the 10 minutes, and if you're adding meters on, but you're not feeling any more tired, fire alarm. If it's not the light going off, it's
We'll
a fire
stop
alarm.
there because we're going to go on for too long. If
Yeah.
you've got any questions, please ask, because we'd rather make it appropriate to you and the people watching. So just write underneath this, wherever you're watching it, some questions, and we'll try and sort them out for the next week.
We'll try for no lights out and no fire alarms next
Yeah.
week. Any questions, send them along. Any ideas on how to launch podcast, more than welcome. Deli Alley Wave.
Yeah. Bye.
See you all soon.
Two ends.
Double-handed. That's better.